Right, we're live on YouTube.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to tonight's Skegness Town Planning and Policy Committee, Wednesday the 10th of March, 7 p.m. via Zoom. Agenda item number 1, minutes of the last meeting, which are attached. Minutes and Planning Committee held on the 2nd of December 21, approved by Council on the 16th of December 2021 for noting.
I'll note, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you. All show, please. Agenda item number 2, to note apologies received by the Town Clerk prior to the meeting. The Town Clerk, please.
Mayor, we have apologies from Councillor Saxon.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 3, to receive declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 4, consideration of applications for planning permission. 4.1, Beach Lodge 4.1, a close Skegness. Section 3, application doing condition 6, occupancy as imposed on planning permission reference was erection of a dormer holiday bungalow and construction of vehicle and pedestrian access. Town Clerk, please.
This is the location plan, which is, sorry, that's the wrong location plan. I'm finding it really difficult this evening to find the actual, let me minimize. Can you still see the window?
We've got the letter.
Yeah, the letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the Environmental Agency.
The location is behind the Derbyshire Miners complex, that were previous complex, and in that holiday area off of Winthorpe Avenue. Now, there aren't any plans as such of because it's mainly relating to a change in use from holiday accommodation to residential use. There's a number of what appear to be letters of support, but quite a few of them are not from the actual direct area, and they do look like they've been sort of copied and signed, if you know what I mean. And there's also one which is from the area, which is not is to it. I think the issue here is, firstly, the Environment Agency, as they've set out in this letter here, are concerned because creating effectively a permanent residency in what is currently a holiday area, which has restrictions about occupancy. They're concerned that there will be life at risk by this. From a council and planning perspective, what the council needs to determine is whether or not this property, which is within holiday accommodation area, whether or not that should become permanent residence.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? Just to point out that this property, I do believe, is, well, the other side of the road. It's basically a little avenue down to the left-hand side as you drive towards the beach, and there are houses on the way down there. There's a residential, there's a care home, and on the right-hand side, they're all houses that are lived in. So personally, I'm not aware of it all being a holiday accommodation area. I don't know whether anybody else has any views on this.
I was just going to ask that question, Mr. Mayor. You know, I know the area slightly, and they are residential homes down there. So I don't know why the Environmental Agency is saying that it's an holiday home accommodation only.
And for those who's not familiar with the area. If you remember, there was a shop down there on the left-hand side. I think it used to be called Popeyes years ago. I don't know whether it sold second-hand goods or new goods, but it's actually a little lane tucked behind there. But I don't know whether the planning was passed solely because of it was for holiday let to start with. Councillor Pete Barry?
It is.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I know the area very well. I should imagine why they're classing it as a holiday area is because that dwelling, what we're talking about, really more or less backs up towards the back of the Derbyshire Miners' home on one side. Going down that lane, what we just mentioned before, there is some holiday lettings running alongside it as well, at the back of the shop of what you said Popeyes was. To me, I think it's it's residential. There's a residential house bang in front of it. So the one we're talking about, I can't see any objections of not going through with it. That's what I'd like to say, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Anderson.
Yeah, I hear what Councillor has said. Brain's gone. Sorry, Pete, Councillor Pete. I hear what he has to say, and I tend to agree. But I think I know where the Environment Agency is coming from. They're frightened if we let one go, then there'll be an avalanche of properties coming in that have got seasonal lettings or seasonal conditions attached to them. We don't know if those other residential properties have only got seasonal conditions on, or are they lived on all year round. So I'm ignorant to the fact. I do fear if we let this go, there will be an avalanche. You set a precedent, and that's it. Very hard to defend otherwise. But I think there's a lack of information here regarding have those other properties that have been talked about have still got permanent residence all year round residency.
Right.
Or
That's the close here, and you've got the holiday accommodation is all around this area.
Councillor Blackburn?
I'm unmuted. Yeah, to build this originally, for getting the planning permission, I assume they've done it as a holiday let to get planning permission, otherwise they wouldn't have got it there. And they've marketed, there is a clause, isn't there, if they market it for 12 months and they can't sell it as holiday accommodation, then they can ask for that condition to be dropped. So it's let 52 weeks, or it's got permission to be let for 52 weeks a year anyway. So there could be people there. It's just this EA rule again. So I would be quite happy to support it, to be fair.
Councillor Claxton? Councillor Claxton?
Just going back for the letter from the Environment Agency, it's just the risk of life. That's those three words that just come out to me that I can't support it. If the Environment Agency, we support most things that they say, but for me, for them to say risk of life, I wouldn't support this going through myself.
Can I just come back, Mayor?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. I agree. I can hear what you're saying, Simon, but the thing is, they've actually said it's fine for it to be a holiday let 52 weeks a year. So there will be people there 52 weeks a year anyway. So there is no difference. It's just a way of when you apply for planning permission to build a new building, they don't want building on the coast, but if it's holiday related, tourist related, you get your planning permission through. It's madness, really. And that was why I said I would support it.
Yeah, just before I bring Councillor Danny Brooks in, I fully agree, because I think we've had this on a lot of issues, certainly down Castle Boulevard recently. You like you say, the 52 weeks occupancy, whether or not, it just means they've got to get people out for summer or winter lets. So I would be happy to support this. Councillor Danny Brooks, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I've actually called this planning application into committee because the officers were looking to refuse it on the Environment Agency's letter. But if you look at the flood risk, the actual property itself is above and if the whole of that street flooded, that would probably be the only house that wasn't flooded because it's raised up so high. I can't see, if same as Councillor Blackburn says, if you're going to let somebody live in there 52 weeks of the year, does it matter that they're living here and living in Skegness? We are desperately crying out for more housing in Skegness. We haven't got enough room for people. And here we are, we've got a house here that can only be let to people that are coming away for a holiday. I just think it's absolute madness that we can't let people live in it. So I will be supporting the item.
Thank you. I'll bring the other councillors in. But Councillor Blackburn has proposed it. I'm happy to second that because I fully agree. And I'm not aware of it being just a holiday area. That's the bit that really throws it for me. Councillor Anderson, would you like to come back in, please?
Yeah, thank you. I'm undecided yet. I think I need to know or take some information from the town clerk. Is that property let for all year round tourism or not? Or is there a 6 weeks break? I mean, when I was on planning at East Lindsey, on holiday lets, we let a 6 week break go as part of the condition.
I only have the information which is relayed in the Environment Agency letter, which I can bring up again.
I think, can I just answer that, Mark?
Yes, please.
It does say on the something I read all the papers on the East Lindsey site this afternoon, and I think it's on the application that it says it's for 52 weeks a year. But I think they can only they've got to keep records and they can only stop 3 months at a time, but they can go from November to February and then February to March, and then the same ones can go back in again, as long as they don't do more than 3 months, but it is 52 weeks.
Thank you.
That's as I understand it as well, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry?
That's how I understood it as well, Mr. Mayor.
Well, I thought it was a 52-year occupancy as well. So I hope that answers your question, Councillor Anderson. So it's been proposed by Councillor Blackburn, seconded by myself. So all in favour, please show with your virtual hands if you can.
Oh, can't find mine.
Hopefully the town clerk or the deputy clerk can see all your hands up. Oh, it's better. Are you for Councillor Ty or against? For Councillor Claxton? Are you for or against?
I'll abstain on this one, please.
Okay, thank you.
7. I've got 7.
Is that carried, town clerk?
It does appear to be yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda 4.2. Mr. A. Green, 17 Lumley Road, Skegness, consent to display 1 number internally illuminated fascia sign, 1 number internally illuminated double-sided projection sign, and 2 number internal poster frames.
There it is.
Dubnames.
Are there any objections, town clerk?
No, there's no comments at all on this one.
Well, I personally think it's good to see investment on our high street. I think we need more shops. We seem to be losing high street names. And I think this just brings a bit more light and colour on the street scene. So I'm happy to support this. Councillor Claxton?
Yeah, just again, coming off the back of what you've said, new business investing in a town, it's a no-brainer for me. So I propose that we move it. Or support
Second
it.
that, Mr Mayor.
Second it. Sorry, Councillor Ty.
I'll second that.
All right, okay, that's fine. Councillor Claxton then proposed it and seconded by Councillor Ty. All in favour, please show.
That's carried.
Carried, thank you. Uh, 4.3, Mr. Acamp, Planning Permission extensions or alterations to existing third floor flat to provide a large dormer windows, front and rear elevations with Juliet balconies. That's around Skegness. Are there any objections, Town Clerk?
No, not at this moment.
Councillor Emerson?
Yeah, the only issue, and you asked the question about objection.
Sorry, you Councillor Anderson, is that?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I said Emerson. It's all right. Councillor Anderson, thank you.
Oh, do you want to go for Councillor Emerson then?
No, he's put his hand down. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the only you asked the question. Is there any objections? And obviously there's not. I'm mindful to support this, but Rutland Road is a beautiful area fronting Tower Gardens. When I was on the district council, we were looking at to make it a heritage site along Rutland Road. And if we put odd bits on top, would that be in keeping? I don't know. But there are some properties there that have got extensions on the front and back, but it's some beautiful properties there from the Victorian, I guess, age of Skegness. So again, I'll listen to the debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Blackburn.
Yeah, I was looking at the plans again this afternoon, and I would like to propose that we support this because it looked only an improvement. They're also looking, if you look at it, on bringing the external staircase internal, which also will make it better for the residents, and also it looks better from the outside anyway, going back to what Councillor Anderson was saying. And they're for high rental, quality rental properties. So I think to keep those houses looking nice is an improvement. So I would support it.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of investment coming on down there now. That's been over the last couple of years. So I think the area is getting enhanced once again, like it was many years ago. Councillor Claxton.
Yeah, I'll support this to be, again, this someone investing in the town to modernising it, I guess, with those houses. I understand what Councillor Anderson's saying with the heritage side of things to make it and keep it looking like seaside towns used to, but the town needs investment in it, and doing something like this will modernise. It's certainly just that block, I know, but maybe it'll give others food for thought along that road to maybe follow suit.
So you seconding Councillor Blackburn there, Councillor Claxton?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Pete Barry.
I was going to say that I agree with Councillor Blackburn, what she just said. There has been a lot of money put in there, and quite honestly, there's quite a few flats there, individual ones, have been actually got this extension on the top. And I thought, well, it's in the upkeep. And I think this one here, number 23, is the last one to be done, I think. So I'm in agreeable with it.
Okay, so it's been proposed and seconded. All in favour, please.
Sorry.
No, it's been seconded by Councillor Claxton. Thank you. All in favour, please show.
Wait a minute. I've
carried.
Knocked out. Coming back.
Still here.
I agree.
No, you're still in, Councillor.
I put my hand up.
Yeah, we can see you. Okay, thank you. Moving on to 4.4, Mr. M. Javed, planning permission for installation of roller shutters 2 to 6 Lumley Road, Skegness. Now I think we're all aware of this shop premises. Unfortunately, 3 times during the first lockdown, the windows were smashed and gained entry. I think it's the way forward for businesses. We must protect them. I think, the crime rate, we don't get the true figures if people don't phone it in. And I also believe, the turning off the street lights don't help. And I think we need to support businesses to secure their premises at night. Is there any objections, Town Clerk?
Not that were present on the site, no.
No. I would happy to propose this then, please.
And I'd be happy to second it.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Yes, Councillor Anderson.
Totally agree with you. But is the roller shutter? Oh, I can see it. It is completely closed. Because you can actually get roller shutters, as you know, that have got small square spaces on them, which has the same effect as what those are. Because it's right on the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, they're chain linked, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I think the size of these windows, I think I can understand why they've gone for the close, to be honest, because you can still throw stones through, and they are big panes of glass. So I appreciate the point of this, and as I say, I'm happy to propose it, but I'll just bring Councillor Empson in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I was just about to say, I'd second this proposal. You're very much right. We need to protect the businesses that are in Skegness. People spend a lot of money doing the shops up and keeping them nice, and we get certain people that decide they want to help themselves. So, yeah, I fully support this, and I'd like to second your motion.
Thank you. Councillor Claxton.
Yeah, as you said about it earlier, in the 3 times in the first lockdown. I don't know why they haven't thought about this sooner, really. I don't know how they're still getting insurance for their shop, the amount of times it's been broken into, but you can fully understand why they're doing it. Yeah, it's not going to look pretty, but you can't help but support the business in doing so. You just feel for them for what they've gone through in such a hard time and losing so much. Can't help but support it. So yeah, I support the application.
Thank you. Any more questions? No. So it's been proposed and seconded. All in favour, please show. Did you vote, Councillor Brooks? Sorry, are you for or against? I can't. Yeah, for. Sorry, thank you. Okay. That brings us to the end of tonight's meeting. Thank you all for watching and attending tonight, and we'll speak to you soon. So stay safe.